Just a nice structured bob with nothing crazy going on and very minimal layering. I'll give you a little bit of a cheat if you feel like a center part is more your jam, but you really like this style. You're gonna get lots of volume with this and you can definitely play with it. Let me open this so you can see it a little bit more in the sunlight as well. There's, again, a lot of permatease on this and you can make this look really big if you want. Hi everybody, welcome back to the Chiquel YouTube channel. My name is Amanda and today I have 4 newer styles by Raquel Welch that they've released just this past September 2025. But before I jump into all of these, I'm going to remind you to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can learn even more about alternative hair. So earlier in September, I think it was, Raquel Welch released 4 brand new, true to life, heat-friendly synthetic styles. So just note that these are not made with their newer Featherlight fiber that you've seen on about 5 of their styles previously this year. This is still their true to life, heat-friendly synthetic fiber. And you're going to find that fiber on all 4 of the styles that I'm going to show you today. Now, I just want to note that all 4 of these styles have come out of the box before, so they're not like fresh out of the box right this very moment for you, but they are still new styles that I have not done anything to. So today I'm of course going to show all 4 of the styles and just kind of give you a quick little run through of what they have to offer. And we're going to start with a style called Always Trending. So Always Trending is going to be one with a left monofilament part that goes all the way back to your crown, and then you're going to have that extended temple to temple lace front. So that lace front will allow you to pull it off of your face while maintaining somewhat of an illusion of hair growth right from your hairline. And then your left part here is going to give you that illusion of scalp just on the left-hand side of your head where this monofilament material is. So you won't be able to part it on your right-hand side, unfortunately, although you will sort of be able to maybe part it in the center, which I can show you when it's on my head. I'll give you a little bit of a cheat if you feel like a center part is more your jam, but you really like this style. You're also gonna find an open wefted cap here, which means that all of the fibers have been sewn into these rows just by a machine. They're not hand sewn at all. And then you do have these silicone strips that go down vertically along your wefting. I find for me that the silicone doesn't really do much. I mean, they say it's to provide a little bit more grip, but honestly, it doesn't, for me, make much of a difference whether it's there or not. But I don't know, maybe it does for you. We do have the felt ear tabs here with the metal stays in them, and then your extended felt nape with your Velcro adjusters. Okay, I am showing this here in the color RL14 22SS Shaded Wheat. Shaded Wheat is going to be more of a medium dimensional, warm blonde color. You're almost gonna find a little bit of some strawberry blonde in here. I don't know if you see that. And then you're also gonna see a little bit more cooler highlights throughout and a little bit of medium neutral blonde in here. But overall, this is going to lean more on the warm side. Shaded Wheat is actually one of my very favorite Raquel Welch blondes. And now I did partially close some of my blinds here because the sun was like beaming in my face, but I want to open it up so you can see this color a little bit more in the sunlight. Okay, now I need to be able to see you, so I'm gonna close that. Now, if you're someone who loves the look of like a cruise control by Raquel Welch, then you're gonna probably really like the look of Always Trending because it's that same mid-length bob situation happening. Just a nice structured bob with nothing crazy going on and very minimal layering. You will find that the ends are a little bit wispy, so it's not that blunt cut, but there's definitely not a lot of layering in this, with your shortest layer being, I don't know, about 1.5 to 2 inches shorter than the full length of your style. This is gonna be closer to a medium density, and you're gonna find quite a bit of permatease on this, especially throughout your mid section here. Like, putting my hands in here is very pillowy, quite a lot of permatease. So you can get quite a lot of volume on this, and you're gonna feel like there's a lot of hair. So beware if you are looking for a low density style, low profile look, you're not really gonna get this, but let me give you a little spin. Let me show you a quick ear tuck on this one. You might have a little bit harder time on your right-hand side here since there is going to be more hair. So whenever you have a left part, which this is, you're going to find more hair on the right-hand side. And I do find that this ear tuck, it doesn't make this wig look very natural, to be honest. I always leave some pieces out front so that you don't expose that ear tab, but I just feel like there's a little bit too much hair on this for a nice looking ear tuck. Anyways, let's take a look at this lace front here. So Raquel Welch usually has really nice lace fronts in terms of the size of their knotting and in terms of the density up at the hairline. But you will find that on their rooted colors like shaded wheat, you're gonna have this brighter blonde strip at the front here. And what that does is, in my opinion, it doesn't look as natural because it makes it look super perfect. It gives you that banding effect right along your hairline, kind of looks like a rainbow. But what it does do is it creates a lighter knot so that you're not going to see the knots as much. So that is a plus, I guess. I do have a video where I show you how you can make that look a little bit more natural, where I take a dark eyeshadow and I shade right at the hairline here. And it definitely helps to diminish this banding effect right at your hairline. So check that out if something like this is really bothering you. Okay, let me show you this left monofilament part here. So whenever you get these new wigs, you're gonna get that zigzag part here. You're gonna wanna get rid of that zigzag part if you're gonna keep this style and expose that monofilament. So there's what that looks like. And I was saying how you can truly only part it on the left-hand side here, but if you want to sort of fake a center part it as close as you can to that center seam where you can't go any further. And then you're close, you're pretty close. If you have room, you can always shift it just a little bit and it is a center part. But if you find that you don't have a lot of room to shift it, you can always, at your lace front, guide your finger, do a little like swoop-de-doo to the center, and just at the front here, you can part it so that it is closer to the center. Now you are gonna get that little like swoop, like I was mentioning, but at least when you're looking head on to someone, that would give you more of a center part. So like I said, there are a couple ways to sort of fake that center part if you want to. Now, in terms of sizing for Always Trending, I do find that this fits a little bit bigger than average. I'm a petite size. My circumference is 20.5 inches. I have 11.5 inches front to nape and 11.5 inches ear to ear. So I do find that there's a decent amount of cap still left within the cap. And also the circumference, it moves pretty easily on my head. I would definitely have to take in the adjusters quite a bit so that this feels more secure. Okay, I'm gonna take off Always Trending and move on to this cutie patootie. This one is called Main Character. So before I show you this style, let's take a look at the cap here. Main Character is gonna have that full monofilament top here, which allows you to part it anywhere you want on the top, giving you that illusion of scalp wherever you decide to part it. And then you again have that extended temple to temple lace front that goes into those felt ear tabs here. You're gonna have an open wefted cap, but unlike Always Trending, Main Character doesn't have the silicone vertically through the wefting. And then again, you still have that extended felt nape and your Velcro adjusters. So I'm showing this here in the color RL6/30 Copper Mahogany. This is a really beautiful fall color, you guys. So you're gonna have a medium brown base here with that 6, and then you're gonna have a reddish auburn going throughout as a highlight. So let me put this on for you. Now with this style, you are gonna find it is a low to medium density, and again, we do have permatease on here. So you can use the permatease to give more volume. So same for this style. If you are looking for a low density piece, this isn't it. You're gonna get lots of volume with this, and you can definitely play with it, get it nice and big and voluminous if you needed to. I do find that this style works a little bit better as an ear tuck though. So let me give you a good little ear tuck. It is actually quite cute when you do that. And you know what, all of the layering throughout this definitely helps with that ear tuck, so there's not quite as much hair going on, because you do have quite a bit of layering in here, starting pretty short, going all the way throughout. It just makes it this really fun, choppy, layered style that you can kind of play around with. But let me give you guys a spin and show you all of her angles. So you will find a little bit of a bang on this style. Obviously they are very long. You're not necessarily going to want to bring them forward and leave them like that, but it definitely creates a little bit of a template for you to be able to bring them forward and then chop them if you need. Or of course, you can sweep them to the side and they are long enough to give you that side swept look. Here's the lace front on this color. And although you're not gonna have that banding effect like we did on that rooted color with shaded wheat, you will see that the knots are just a little bit more visible because they are darker. But like I said earlier, Raquel Welch does do pretty small knotting. So that is kind of as good as you are gonna get here, which is not too bad. And then you have that full monofilament top. So we can change the part wherever you want. Here's more of a center part. I feel like on me, this one wouldn't look great as a center part, but you can do it. You're gonna have a little bit of a bump happening when you try it at first, just because the hair is not trained to go in this direction yet. So you do need to use some heat in order to help the fibers go where you want them to go. But then you could also do a right part with this. So for all my right parted ladies, you can definitely train it to go to the right. You can train your bangs to sweep over to your left-hand side if that's what you need. Do the ear tuck on the right hand side. So there's lots of different options for this style here. And I find that main character here fits pretty true to average. I find it's not quite as big as Always Trending was. So pretty true to average here. I would just take the adjusters in a little bit for me to fit my circumference and deal with a little bit of extra bulk in the cap. All right, my next one for you is called On My Way. So On My Way is gonna have basically the exact same cap that we just saw with main character. So you're gonna still have that full monofilament top for all that parting versatility, your extended temple to temple lace front, your open wefted cap, felt ear tabs, felt extended nape, and your Velcro adjusters here. So we have this here in the color RL1216, also known as Honey Toast. So what you're gonna see is a light brown base. That's your 12 here. And then the 16 is gonna be a golden blonde, highlighted all throughout this, and we don't have any rooting on this. Let me open this so you can see it a little bit more in the sunlight as well. But it really is definitely a light brown with golden blonde highlights. That's pretty much it. Okay, let me close this and I will get this on my head. If you are someone who loves styles by Belle Tress like Hepburn or Granada, then this will be right up your alley. We do have a pretty thick bang here. It's definitely not a wispy bang. There is quite a bit of hair going on, and clearly it's a little bit long for me. Having the longer bangs allows it to work for those women who might have a long forehead, and then, you don't need to trim it at all. It's right in the perfect spot. Or it allows you to trim it if you need, if you have a shorter forehead. It also allows you to brush the fibers to the side if you want more of a side swept bang. And it even allows you to completely brush it to the side sometimes to sort of incorporate with the rest of the style if you don't really want that banged look. So there are definitely options if you have a little bit of a longer bang. Now this one in particular, although you can sweep it to the side, I don't particularly feel like it's long enough to want to do that. I feel like this one, if you're getting the style, it's because you do want the bangs. So I would personally keep them forward for me and trim them a little bit shorter and have that more straight across bang look. All right, you are gonna find some layering in this as well. And this is a little bit more of a bigger barreled curl as opposed to a wave going on. So let me spin around so you can see it all. Now you are gonna find this is a little bit closer to a medium density, and we also have permatease. Now the permatease on this one is basically situated throughout your whole cap except for right on top, because that is where we have that monofilament top where it's been hand tied onto the monofilament, and you're not gonna find permatease where the fibers have been hand tied. So let me show you that hand tied top here. Get nice and close. And then of course, since you can part it that way, it allows you to give this more of a side swept look. That's kind of cute. And then of course you can part it on the right hand side as well. But let me give you a glance at your lace front here. I find this color gives a really natural lace front because although they do bring that golden blonde forward because it is that lighter fiber, it's not so light that it gives you that drastic difference from that darkness to lightness, giving you that banding effect, if you know what I mean. It is just a really nice subtle contrast in fiber that allows the knotting to be not quite as visible and just sort of blend in with the rest of the fiber. I don't know if I'm making any sense at all, but I just feel like this color is pretty natural in terms of the knotting on your lace front. Now, something to keep in mind with this style, because it is a style that typically would graze your shoulders, you are going to have it rubbing against your shoulders, against your clothing, and it will tangle a little bit more than styles that are above your shoulders. And all of that being said, that means that you're going to get the frizz on the ends of this and the tangles, which means you're going to have to brush it a little bit more to get the tangles out, which means you're going to get more frizz. And the only way to get rid of that frizz is with heat. So I just would like to warn you that you will need to use heat. I would personally use something like a hair straightener on the ends to go through, twist my wrist, and get the frizz out on your ends. So maintaining your ends with heat to get rid of the frizz that is inevitable is something that you're gonna have to do if you get a style like this. And as I take this off here, I will let you know that this one also fits very true to average and very similar to Main Character, which I showed just before this. Okay, the last style from Raquel Welch's new releases this fall is their shortest one, and it's called Curated Cut. So Curated Cut is going to be a basic cap. So when I say basic, I just mean that it's been pretty much completely machine made. So we do have that open wefted cap again, where all of the fibers have been machine sewn into rows. This does have the silicone strips throughout your cap vertically there. We do have that extended felt nape with Velcro adjusters and your felt ear tabs. And on the top, you're just gonna have that permatease and the wefting on the top as well. Now, what they did add to this though, to make it a little bit more than basic, is they've added your extended temple to temple lace front. So that is always a nice bonus to have on these basic caps, just to give you a little bit more realism. So this is the color RL 1923 Biscuit. This is going to be your unrooted version of their other color called a shaded biscuit. So basically what this is a neutral, leaning cool, dimensional blonde. You do have some beige blonde and some sandy blonde in here, and then it is highlighted with this cooler blonde throughout. And let me open the sunlight to this so that you can see what she looks like in that bright, bright sun. All right, let's get Curated Cut on for you, because it is quite a cute little style. So this one is all about the layers and the textures. It's not like a pin straight style. You're gonna have a little bit of structure happening here as well. And there's, again, a lot of permatease on this. So you can absolutely work with the permatease. You can get a lot of height, and you can make this look really big if you want. This could be a fun one to add something like a wig wax to it if you really like piecing this out and making that texture come through. But lots of permatease, lots of hair, definitely not a low profile look. So let me give a spin for you guys. If you want, you can leave all of these sideburns forward if that's the look you're going for, or you can tuck them behind your ears. So they're definitely long enough to tuck and give you like a completely different look. I actually love the little ear tuck look. Now here's the lace front on this. So you can pull it off of your face. If you want to style this back, if that's your jam, you could do that. You probably would need a little bit of hairspray to do that. You can get a synthetic spray that can help you if you like something like this. And also, just a reminder, even though this is, or it has no monofilament here, so you aren't gonna get that illusion of scalp at your part line there. Even though you don't have that, you still can part this wherever you want. You're just still not gonna get that illusion of scalp there. But you do have the ability to part this wherever you'd like, right, left, center. So here's a right part for you. You just might need to use a little bit of heat to get it going where you want it to. But you know what, to be honest, this one is actually not doing too bad in that department. It is kind of going where I want it to. But let me get it back to the left part where it came in. and where I think it suits me best on this style. But I really love how much you can play around with this and just really make it your own. You can even bring the bangs forward on this, clearly too long, but if you want more of a bang coming forward, you can definitely cut them so that they are shorter and more of that straightforward bang. So lots you can do with Curated Cut here. And in terms of fit, this one is fitting very true to average again. So it's not humongous on me, but it still is just a little bit big on me. All right, you guys, that's all I have to share with you about these 4 new fall releases by Raquel Welch. Let me know what you guys think of them. If you have already made a purchase for yourself with one of these, I'd love to know how it's going for you too. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.